Hey, I know it's been a minute since I've done a video. Here's a new one, 4 weeks worth of books. And I finally got an EC comic book, a new release EC comic book that I liked. Here, check it out. Greetings and salutations, comic book conversationalists. This is Comic Book Hangover. My name is Scott. We have a huge stack of books to go through, so let's just jump right into it. But first, I want to say I am sorry for the long length of time. It's been, some 3 weeks since I've been able to do a video. It's just been really, really crazy with school starting. But I do want to say, we finished our second week of school. We started on the 21st. One of the things that I was able to get from my class, aside from getting to know a great bunch of kids, is I think I'm getting a cold. So first cold of the year, yay. Yay teaching, yay working in school, yay working with 5-year-olds. I'm loving it. So it's just been a little crazy. So I haven't been able to do any videos. Here we go. So this one here is just going to be all the books that I picked up. Some of them I'm going to talk about, some I'm not, and they're basically in the order that I picked them up in. At the end, there's a couple of trades I want to show you that I'm not sure if I talked about yet or not. So let's just get into this right now with top of the stack. Here we go. Transformers number 11. Hey, you know what? What more can you say about the Transformers book other than it's still an amazing series? I know people are freaking out now because the writer Daniel Warren Johnson has announced online that he is going to be leaving the book with issue 24, and there's people that are saying, "Oh, the series is going to end with issue 24." If it ends with issue 24, I'll be okay with that. I would prefer if it kept going, but if it keeps going, I'm looking at it this way: that's 2 years worth of stories that Johnson has done at that point. So that's 2 years worth of mythology, character development, setting the stage, and setting the standard. So any writer who's going to be coming in knows what's come before. He will not be. He'll be unburdened by what has come before, if you know what I mean. So I still have hopes for the books. I'm curious as to who they're going to bring in if they continue the series, which I truly hope they do. I'm okay with another writer coming in as long as he or she understands the high standard that this one has. But this one here, I mean, we got Ultra Magnus, we've got Devastator, we've got the setup for Optimus Prime versus Shockwave, while Prime has Megatron's fusion cannon arm. It's a great series, amazing art, great writing, and I'm still just absolutely loving it. The next one on the stack is the final issue. It's the third of 3 issues, Barbaric Born in Blood. Still a really fun little barbarian series. I mean, if Conan didn't have morals, he liked drinking, he liked womanizing, he liked fighting, and he was cursed to help people despite the fact that he pretty much hates people in general, that would be Barbaric. It's a great little series. I am loving it. The first facsimile in the stack, I've got facsimiles and I have reprints in the stack this week. So the first one is going to be Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, number 8 of 12. This is a key book. I don't remember what. I think it's because they used more red on the cover for this one and more oranges on the cover than they normally do. So that becomes something unique for Marvel. They don't really do a lot of oranges or a lot of reds on their covers. It's very, very rare. Off the top of my head, besides this cover, I can't think of a single book that had that kind of coloring on the cover, but it is what it is. Kidding aside, first appearance of the symbiote that later becomes Venom. So I haven't read that one yet, but I'm going to. Destro number 3, returning back to the Energon universe. Really good series. I'm really enjoying this. Although this issue got a little confusing with all the voiceovers, all the narration from the Crimson Twins and Destro, because they're at a war with each other now, but they're just 2 different companies. So it gets a little confusing trying to keep track of where we're at and who's talking about what. But still a really well done series. The art is really fun. I think the next issue is going to be drawn by the artist from Cobra Commander, which I'm really, really looking forward to seeing. So there's that. All right, so next one is Nightclub #2. Now, last year I picked up Nightclub. It was a 4 or 5 issue miniseries. It's about these kids who become vampires, and instead of becoming bad guys, they decide to use these powers, these new abilities, to fight crime. Not completely altruistic though. They see this as an opportunity to grow their YouTube channel and their online presence through their antics. So they're able to use their vampire abilities and their luchador masks to fight crime. They record it, they edit it, they put it up on YouTube. They get all kinds of ads, or they get all kinds of views. They're making money off of it. And this one here, it's fast forwarding from the first one. The group is kind of falling apart. One of the guys has left, and he's kind of falling in with the wrong crowd. And it's actually the crowd that the other two are wanting to take down. So we got a conflict of interest coming, but still a really fun series. The only thing is the first miniseries, each issue was $1.99 per issue, which was awesome to have a book and know that we could have books that cheap again. This one, they're kind of making up for it. These ones are $4.99 a pop. So this next one, this is one that I kind of picked up to round up what I was paying at my store. I had a few extra. I had some credit that I needed to unload, and well, I just kind of had to get a round number to use my credit at my LCS. So I picked this one. This is from Dark Horse. This is the first issue. This is Patra #1 of 4. It's got art by Scott Kolins. I love Scotty Collins' art. I mean, he did some runs with Marvel. He did Beyond. He did Marvel Team Up. I think he did some Avengers books. Search for She-Hulk was one of the stories he did. I've always liked his art because to me, it felt like old school Marvel art that we had back in the 90s. So I always really liked it. This art style, though, he has changed it up a little bit. So this first issue doesn't really give you a clear idea as to what is going on. You got this girl. She like her family is killed. She ends up in the woods, and for whatever reason, this mask and this knife always they'll periodically just appear on her, and she throws them away and they disappear. Then a little bit later they appear on her again. She's being stalked by somebody, the person who killed her family, and the mask comes on and the knife comes back. And at the end of this issue, she's like, I don't want the mask, but I could use the knife for protection. So it's from the solicitation, it kind of feels like it's going to be sort of a hack slash type thing where she's going to be using her abilities and her powers to, as she develops them and learns how to use them, she'll be using them to fight the slasher, sort of like the 80s and 90s slasher archetype characters. So I don't know, it's really interesting. I really did enjoy the first issue. I was not going to pick it up. Scott Kolins was a plus for getting it. The art is amazing. The writing is really fun. It's as lighthearted as a dark story can be. But I would recommend it if you're reading stuff like Nightclub or Something Is Killing the Children. This might be something to check out. So, only a 4-issue miniseries from Dark Horse, Patra #1, and I really like that cover. That's a great cover. Another facsimile, this time from DC Comics. We have Crisis on Infinite Earths #5 of 12, continuing the maxi series. Really not much more I can say about it. We're just reprinting this series, and we're off to the races with it. I still haven't read issue 4. I got 4 and 5 to read, so there is that. And with the DC facsimiles, I haven't done this in a while. They keep their covers pretty much spot on the way it was. They don't add anything different except for the cover price is different. This one has a $3.99 cover price, but if you're looking if you want to verify as to whether or not this is a facsimile, and for whatever reason you're not able to see that price, you could always take a look at the back of a DC facsimile. The back of your DC facsimile is right there. It is. You're going to have the modern era DC logo, and your barcode will be right back there. Back in these days, the barcode was right here. So they switched that up a little bit. So there is that. Another facsimile edition. This is Amazing Spider-Man #259. This is continuing. Marvel is reprinting the first year of the black suit in Amazing Spider-Man. So some of these books I do have. I have the originals, but it's a run. It's a 12-issue run that they're doing, and sort of the semi-completist in me is like, well, I don't have some of these. I have some of them. I don't want to have holes in that run, so I want to grab them all. So there is that one, sort of an homage to an early Iron Man cover there. That's really cool. Now with Marvel facsimile editions, There's three ways, and I haven't done this in a while either. There are three ways to decide to determine whether or not you have a facsimile, and that is, of course, the price. Amazing Spider-Man was not $5 cover price back in those days. You have the barcode, which will always look. Here we go. You see how this barcode? This is where the original barcode is. You see how it's kind of wide, kind of fat, so to speak. And if you look close enough, you can see where you can see part of the cover behind it. So it's sort of floating in the corner there. The new barcodes, that's how the Marvel ones were. The new barcodes, you see how they just hug the edge. They're slimmer and they hug the edge, either the spine and the bottom or the edge and the bottom of the cover. So that is that barcode is one indicator as well. And also you're going to have the modern era DC logo or I'm sorry, Marvel Comics logo on there as well. So almost to the end of this one. And we're going to talk about an EC book that I picked up this month that I actually really liked. So next up, these are this week's books. So we're pretty much caught up. Again, needing to sort of round out my credit at my LCS, I picked up the Marvel's Anniversary Special. This is their 85th Anniversary Special. I got this variant cover. Really had no interest in the book. From what I understand, it takes place all these like 50,000 years or something like that in the future. I don't know. Takes place on a satellite or something that is a museum for the superhero era that we are in now. I don't know. I haven't read it yet, but there you go. There's that cover. Another Barbaric one shot. This time it's Barbaric versus Deathstalker. Grab this cover. Now, there was a cover that I really wanted with this Deathstalker guy and Battle Axe sort of facing off against each other. That's like a $12 cover. Like I can't do that. Excuse me. I can't do that. So I grabbed this regular cover. I still like it. I'm going to read. I don't know. I really don't know anything about Deathstalker. I haven't read a single Deathstalker comic, but I'm going to check it out anyway because it is barbaric. This next one is another one that I had to get just to round up the remainder of my credit, and this is Aliens versus Avengers #1. I got the regular cover. They had the movie poster homage cover done on my LCS, but somebody had lifted it and bent it and tore I messed up the spine. And while I'm not really one of these guys that says I have to have all my books in mint condition, I do like to have, especially on a black cover where it's all dark colors, if there's a tick in that spine, you're going to see the color break really well, and I can't abide by that. So I had to put that one back. And the only other variant cover they had down there was one with Captain Marvel with the most hideous, god-awful face I'd ever seen on Captain Marvel. It was almost like, this might offend some people, if Aeon Flux had Down syndrome, that's what she looked like on that cover. So I passed on that one. She looks much better on this one. She looks a little pissed, but she looks much better on that one. So I'm assuming that she's pissed because she's having to deal with the xenomorphs, and she doesn't like dealing with stuff like that. I'm sure she gets very annoyed with dealing with aliens. But there you go. So I grabbed that one, and a couple of reprints from Skybound. They managed to reprint Transformers #1. This is the 40th anniversary reprint of the very first issue of Transformers, originally published by Marvel Comics, now published by Skybound. Now, this is not a facsimile reprint. This is just a standard reprint. So it's going to have all of your modern advertisements in it. So the original advertisements, the original, bullpen, all that sort of stuff is not in there, which makes sense. I don't think Marvel would be comfortable with letting somebody else publish, their bullpen stuff. So I got the regular cover, and because it was a special occasion, I wound up picking up the variant cover for it as well. There's a third cover that I know of that it's just a sketch cover, and I don't really have a use for that. So, but I grabbed this one. It's sort of like Megatron version of the Optimus Prime of the main cover. So I like that. That's pretty cool to me. So that is that. And then Void Rivals #12. And I don't think I've read this one yet either. I got to read this one still. So, but Void Rivals, it's really picking up. You got the Quintessons getting involved in things. You got Springer, and who knows who else. And then the last one I picked up, this was a free one that they had on their counter down on my LCS. This is the August 2024 issue of Marvel Must-Haves. No, excuse me. I think I grabbed one of these for Free Comic Book Day. This one has Spectacular Spider-Man #2, GODS #2, and Avengers Twilight #1. So I like the cover. and it was free. So, you know, what the heck? Why not? And lastly, the EC book that I picked up this week, the new release EC book that I picked up this week that I really, really liked. I haven't read I haven't actually even had a chance to read it yet, but I know I'm going to love it because it is The Haunt of Fear, EC Archives Volume 4. Original EC, the way it's supposed to be, with great consistent art, awesome writing, gorgeous covers, the Vault Keeper, the Old Witch, and the Crypt Keeper all involved like they're supposed to be. Great run. Now we got one more volume that now 2025 we're going to be wrapping up this line of reprints. February is when volume 5 for the Haunt of Fear comes on. That is it for the Haunt of Fear. We've got, I think, one more volume for the Vault of Horror. We got one more one volume that's going to have the weird science fantasy issues in it. Tales from the Crypt. All of them are going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. So I don't know which one's going to wrap up first, but I know this one wraps up in February 2025, which is really weird for me to say. But we got that. I love it. It's great. I'm going to set this up here. So those are the books that I picked up from my LCS this past couple of weeks, this past 3 weeks. Cannot believe it's been 3 weeks. The other thing I want to show you guys is we got, I'm probably the only one who's not familiar with the store. It's a store called Ollie's. It's a retailer outlet store. They, from what I can figure, they pick up all kinds of stuff. They pick up bulk items and they sell it at a major discount. Our Ollie's just opened up maybe close to a month ago. And the first thing I bought from there was this. This is, I don't know if I've showed this yet, but this is heavy sucker. This is Doctor Strange Omnibus Volume 3. Yep, Volume 3. Cover price, $125. They had this on sale there for $30. Brand new. This thing was still wrapped up. I could not resist that at all. And this is actually one of my favorite runs of Doctor Strange. This is during the Midnight Suns era, where he, this is later in that run, but that's where he was split up into 3 different entities. There was Stephen Strange, there was Dr. Stevens, there was Strange, there's one other one, but then they kind of merged. I think they merged into this, but it's got some great issues. They had some amazing cover art in there. But for a $125 book to pick it up for $30, I could not resist that. I also, in the last week or so, we went back to see if they had anything else in there, and they wound up having this. And I think I've got this for like $14, $15. I think cover price is $30. But this is the Return of Superman trade paperback. So this reprints all the Return of Superman issues. Now, I have the individual issues, but I've never had this. So I did notice also that on the spine, it looks like this whole Death and Return of Superman trade paperback run forms a picture on the spine. So I'm going to try to get the rest of these. I have the original trade paperback for the Death of Superman, the one that was only like $12 or something like that. Came out way long time ago. I do need to get a new copy of it. I'd like to have a new copy of it, especially if I get a set like this. So I'll need what is it? The Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend, Reign of the Superman, and Return of Superman. But from the looks of it, there might be one other one. I don't know. They don't really have any information about other volumes in the series. So, but that is that. Those are all the books that I picked up these past 3 weeks. Been great. It's been a great run. So the entire month's worth of books that I picked up, there will be a short video that will be here on YouTube eventually, but it's going to debut on my TikTok account. It's either going to be today or tomorrow that it'll be up there. So I'll put a link to my TikTok page, feed, or whatever the hell it's called. I'll put a link to my TikTok account in the description down below, so you can head on over there and see the little comic book stuff that I do over there. I am trying to get 1,000 followers over there. I'm actually way more followers there than I have subscribers here. I think I have like 270 subscribers currently here on YouTube. I have over 700. I think I'm at 720 followers on TikTok. And if I hit 1,000 followers over there, then I can start doing live streams, which I really want to do. I really want to just kind of communicate with fellow comic book fans and just kind of shoot the breeze. comics, movies, wrestling, whatever. Especially now, I mean, we got this whole election thing going on. Things are getting crazy. We need to be able to take a step back from all of that and have some fun, have some, enjoy some levity, some great jokes, some really bad jokes, and some fun comics, some bad movies, and all sorts of stuff. So that's what I think we need more than anything, especially now. So I'm hoping to be able to get 1,000 followers before the election so we can have some fun. Just take a step back and enjoy yourselves for a change. But that's it. That is it. We're done. There's the month of October is in the can. Going to jump into September next week. I can't wait to see what great new books we all get. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next week in another new stack of comic books. Have a great weekend.